What's the first thing you do whenever you get into your car or any other vehicle? Start it, turn on the radio, text back your friend, or do some other pointless thing that you don't have to do. Now, when I get in my car, the first thing I do is put it on my seatbelt. Why? Because, well, not only is it illegal in Tennessee to not wear your seatbelt, but also because about 2 months ago I had a pretty dangerous accident. I ran off into, let's say, a 20-foot ditch, and there's water in it, and it wasn't fun. And it completely burnt my car, and was very dangerous, obviously. But during my accident, I was not wearing my seatbelt. I remember having to hold on to the steering wheel and the roof of the car just in order to keep from flying around inside the car or even out of it. This accident has really opened my eyes to the seatbelt awareness. I see why it is a law in Tennessee, and I do believe that it should be. Everybody should be required to wear their seatbelt because it's just for your own safety. A lot of people think, well, I shouldn't have to wear a seatbelt, I'm a good enough driver. It's not you that a lot of people are worried about, it's everybody else on the roads. The most accidents happen when it's least expected at all times. So the main things I'm going to be covering today is that it's persuading you on why it should be against the law to not wear your seatbelt. The main points are going to be how many lives are lost due to not wearing your seatbelt, and the reasons why seatbelts are installed in vehicles, and why so many states have seatbelt laws. So first, I'm going to start off with how many lives are lost due to this. There's accidents every day, and every day people die in those accidents, and a lot of them are due to not wearing a seatbelt. According to CDC.gov, in 2009 alone, car crashes killed over 33,000 people and injured 2.2 million. And it was estimated that over half of them were not wearing a seatbelt. Not wearing a seatbelt, it's very recommended. Seatbelt use started around 1950s, and just from 81, the seatbelt use has really increased from 11% in 1981 to 85% in 2010. As you see, not wearing your seatbelt can really affect you. It's very dangerous, and not wearing your seatbelt, the government, with all these laws, the only thing they're trying to do is save lives. They do this for a reason, not to write you tickets. They do it for your own personal benefit. The reason why seatbelts are designed, of course, they're meant to protect all drivers and passengers from injury during a car accident. Seatbelts do one thing airbags can't, and that's hold you inside the vehicle. Airbag will help, but it's not meant to hold you inside a vehicle during your collision or during flipping your car. Many people think that wearing a seatbelt doesn't really matter, but it really does, and it can mean life or death. AutoLive estimated that more than 1 million people have been saved since seatbelts were first introduced in the 1950s. They're all designed for the same thing, as I said, to help protect you. When you're wearing it, it should always be worn properly, directly over your chest and directly over your lap. If you improper use of your seatbelt, it can lead to concussions, broken bones, and sadly fatalities. They're meant to be used all the time, every time you enter your vehicle. And now my next reason is why the states have seatbelt laws. The United States, there are 34 states that have seatbelt laws, and the seatbelt laws are designed, like I said, to help save lives. Basically, the law states that a police officer is allowed to pull you over, either the driver or the passenger, and write them a ticket for not wearing their seatbelt. I agree with this law 100%. I think that all the drivers should be required to wear their seatbelt inside of all automobiles. Many people say that he or she shouldn't have to, that it should be their own decision, that if they want to take the risk of not wearing a seatbelt, then let them. It's their own fault. But and it may be the right decision, but over the past few years, obviously letting them do that has led to many fatalities and numerous deaths. So sometimes it's better to make drivers wear their seatbelt and just not let them not be as happy. But the government is not the only ones concerned about your safety. Many car manufacturers these days have done many things that require you to wear a seatbelt. Like I have a personal friend who drives, I believe, a Ford Fusion, and whenever he gets in his car, if you don't put a seatbelt on, his stereo won't work. It just has no music. And so like most people, I'll put my seatbelt on because I'd like to listen to music. Well, he's not that kind of person. He says that his seatbelt is stupid and he never wears it, that it's very uncomfortable. So he just buckles it and then sits down on top of it. And I asked him why, and he just said that it was dumb. I hope that he don't end up as one of these statistics, but you never know. And seatbelts are in your cars for a reason. They're not there for looks, they're there to protect you. And so to come to conclusion, now that you know how many lives there are that are lost each day due to not wearing your seatbelt, and why seatbelts are so highly recommended, and why they're even, in some states it's even illegal if you don't buckle up. I hope that the first thing you do now when you get in your car is buckle up, because it can mean life or death. And because it may not be a law in your state, it's very recommended that you buckle up, because it can mean life or death. And always remember that wearing your seatbelt in Tennessee is a law, so click it or ticket.